Are you letting the crowd, the opposition, and everybody else that's external to you get inside your head and ruin your performance? Are you finding that you're focusing in on what the crowd's saying to you? Are you focusing in on what your opposition's doing to you? Are you focusing in on everything else except your own performance? And if you are giving them the power and the control to your own performance. Because what we want to do is to stay in our own space, stay in our head and our heart, allow ourselves to be totally in control of our own performance. Because if we're focusing on everybody external to us, they're going to ruin our day for us because we've just let them. So what we get to do is to focus on what it is that we're doing, who we're showing up as in that moment. And it's really interesting watching at the moment with the Australian Open on here in Melbourne, is you see the self-talk. People are beating up on themselves. There's all this hand stuff going on, and there's all this judgment of our own performance. What many of those athletes are doing, and you can see it. And from the number of athletes and teams that I've worked with and the number of years that I've been in this game, is you can see it. And straight away in that moment, when they're all negative, and you can see the face screwed up, you can see the shoulders all hunched up, the body language gives it away. You might not be able to understand a lot of those accents or a lot of the language, but you can sure as hang see it in their body, in their physiology. And then, more often than not, their next shot or next 2 or 3 shots are crap. Yeah. Because they've just judged themselves. Because they've just told themselves that they're either not good enough or it's not working, they don't know how, and they're asking themselves questions that are not going to serve them. Yeah, ask yourself questions that are going to get you to step up, that are going to get you to rise up. Because whatever we focus on in that moment is our truth. And if we're focusing on the stuff that's not working, then we're going to get more of it. If we're focusing on what is working and what it is that we could do or be to show up in that moment, then we're going to start improving. So what we want to look at is to go, hey, are you giving your performance to the crowd, to the opposition? Are you focusing on the BS that doesn't serve you? And so this is what we want to jump in and look at. It's really amazing because when our physiology drops, when we get all round-shouldered, when we screw up our face, we get all negative and we start talking down to ourselves, then that's when we're going to get more of. Now, in those moments, yes, have your nano tanty, throw your toys out the cot, call it as is, cool with that. And then in that moment, quickly recognize where you're at. Quickly recognize what you're saying to yourself. Recognize what you're feeling in your physicality. And then shift it and change it. Because that is what is going to help you to get back on track. That is what is going to help you to keep stepping forward and create your next level performance. So notice it. When the head drops. You know, I was working with the New Zealand women's canoe polo team. And several times, yes, they're world champions, all right? So they're number 1 in the world, which is pretty amazing. Now, watching some of them, even their management, their coach and everything, if they dropped their heads, if they spoke negatively, if they talked down, judged themselves or the people around them, performance dropped. Very simple. So what we get to do in that moment is set ourselves up from the start. What are you focusing on? What are you setting yourself to focus up on? Are you in control of your pre-performance routines? Because that's going to put you into a different state going into your game. What is it that you're focusing on during that performance? Now, this is not just for athletes here, because if this is you in your workspace, in a meeting, in your setting yourself up for a presentation, doesn't matter. It's the same thing, it's performance. Whatever you're focusing on, you're getting more of. If you're going to let the head drop, if you're going to focus on the negative stuff that's not working, you're going to get more of it. Now, working with the New Zealand women's canoe polo team, the Paddle Ferns, when we focused on what was working, when we focused on what was serving each and every one of us, when we bandied together, when we really brought it together as a unit and we kept each other up and going, success. And that's how things like that happen right there. All right? You get that. You get the goods. You do the mahi, you get the treats. And so this is what we want to focus on. Have a look. Check in on your own performance. What are you saying to yourself in those moments? Are you talking about the things that aren't serving you, or are you talking about the things that are serving you? What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on the crowd? Are you focusing on the opposition? Are you listening in to what the crowd's saying? Because one of the coolest things we can start focusing on in those moments is change the meaning of it. You know, if you hear the crowd cheering for the opposition, and believe me, being at the Aussie Open, watching some of those games live, there is a whole ton of people cheering. And it gets pretty rowdy. And if you are the opposition to the person or the team that the crowd is cheering for, shift it. Shift the meaning. I used to do that too when I played hockey, indoor hockey for New Zealand as well. I played in goal. And when the opposition was getting all the cheering, I would turn it. And I go, you know what? They're cheering for me. And the first couple of times I'm like, yeah, right, I'm kidding myself. I'm having myself on here. The more we do it, the more we focus on it, we can shift that meaning and we can make it work for us. So shift that meaning. When you notice that the crowd is cheering, barracking for your opposition, shift it and say that they're cheering for you. Whatever you focus on in here is going to have a result for you of what's happening in front of you in that moment. So what are you focusing on during that game? Are you focusing on the things that are going to take you forward? Are you focusing on playing your game of setting yourself up for your own performance? Or are you allowing the opposition, the crowd, external sources to control your game? Check in. And if you want to know what it takes to shift that mindset, to shift that meaning, to shift that focus, we can work on it easy peasy. Because it doesn't take much to be able to shift the focus and focus in on what's serving you, to take your power back, to shift and raise up in your performance so you can get the goods and get the outcomes that you truly deserve. Now, what are you focusing on in your next performance?